Welcome back, everyone, to week 5 of building Ryloth. Let's get into it. Alrighty, guys, so if you didn't know, this is where we left off on Ryloth here. This is what the base currently looks like, or the layout, actually, I should say, of Ryloth currently looks like. And we are going to go ahead and lay down kind of the outline of the actual outpost over there and the base that we're going to be putting with some gray base plates. But before we do that, one other thing we need to tackle today, and you see over there, is that ATOT. We need to finish the actual cockpit of the ATOT. The cockpit of the ATOT is kind of on the #1 to-do list right now, so we're going to do that. But we also, in order to do that, we need to go ahead and sort our light gray and dark gray pieces as well. So those are the 3 things we're going to try and accomplish in this video. I'm going to do the cockpit of the ATOT first. Then after we have completed the cockpit of the ATOT, we'll go ahead and get into sorting our light gray and dark gray. And you see this tub here, actually, that's a box full of minifigures above it that are going to go into that tub below. But I actually have another one of those tubs and compartment for our light and dark gray to get sorted as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The minifigure sorting, stay tuned for in a separate video, but for today, let's go ahead and get that ATOT cockpit done. So as you see here, guys, we had the cockpit design from the alternative build that we had before for the ATOT, as you see there. I'm going to go ahead and use maybe some of those parts to build this, but I'm also going to see if I have more of these window parts, because I know during the alternate build we only had one on that side, I remember, and one on this side. And I think we have some window parts that may fit a little bit better. Also, we were constrained with parts, obviously, because this came from an ATTE, which I now believe I can get some parts from my collection and do more of the ATOT build that we see in the ATOT and dropship from 2010 or 2011, I believe. So first, I'm going to go ahead and get those parts, and then we'll start kind of doing a time lapse of us going through and trying to kind of figure out the best way to make not only a cockpit that looks like an ATOT, but also is strong enough and not going to fall apart if I'm moving around. Because after this mock, I would like to keep the ATOT and actually have the ATOT on my shelves and collection for future mocks and just for have on display, because I love the set. I love the ship from Star Wars. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and get this cockpit done right. Let's get right into it. That's the big problem. So I built it up in here. This looks good, but there's a huge gaping hole and area right here. So I'm gonna start building that in there as best I can to make it look good there. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Okay, so we went ahead and we got the inside here filled out. This isn't too bad. I don't have a big of a deal with big issue with this. I might put some more back here, a couple slope pieces just to make it look a little bit cleaner there, but overall not bad at all. So we're gonna go ahead and call that good for the ATOT today. I'm gonna pull you up here so you can kind of see a better view of it there, but that looks great. I love the ATOT. These actually do fold in more. I'm just not folding them in right now, just to let you know. And I'm going to load that up with Clone Troopers in our mock video. But for now, let's go ahead and sort some light gray pieces and dark gray pieces and get those into a tub here so we can start building and designing the outpost way over there. Alrighty, guys, like mentioned before, I do have our light gray here, and this is actually just one of 3 bins, just to keep that in mind. So I'm going to be sorting the light gray first because I'll be using majority light gray with some dark gray being utilized as well for the base. So light gray, I'm going to be doing plates. So I don't have enough of, I would say, a specific piece when it comes to any of my colors to actually just put them as the specific piece in a drawer. So for now, and this is kind of a sorting technique, but every time I sort any sort of Legos, I just put the type it is into a actual drawer, and then once I have that, I'll go ahead and divvy it up by the actual piece later on. So if I ever grow a big enough collection, like for this mock, all these tan pieces I'm gonna have a big enough collection for now, so I'll just put them by piece. So for now though, I'm gonna be doing all sorts of plates like this in their own, and then I'll be doing any sort of slope bricks or regular bricks. So this would go in a brick by itself, and then specialty parts. I consider specialty parts like an engine piece or a dome. Those would be like specialty parts and go into their own bin for now. So let's go ahead and get light gray done, and then we'll start on the Outpost. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, we got the first bucket of my light gray all out and organized. Now we have another bucket for other colors, which is honestly amazing because I have another one of these, and I'm actually just going to be using it for minifigures, which I'm going to show in a video later this week. But for now, we're going to get all the light gray in here. I'm not going to do that in the mock video. I'm going to do that outside of YouTube just because nobody wants to see me sit here and sort time-lapse for 5 hours straight of just Legos. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this. I have plenty of pieces set aside now to do the layout of the actual outpost, and then go over the walls and the technique we're going to do, so it looks nice, and so we can do some greebling in the inside of the outpost. But we'll go ahead and do that now, and then we'll end the video there. So let's go ahead and kind of dive into the outpost. We have the mock here, and here, as you can see, we have pretty much the idea of what we want to do with an actual outpost just like this. So what I'm going to do now is place some of these pieces that I have down to kind of get the actual layout of the perimeter of it. I want to leave this like the way it is because I'm going to build up rock onto the side of the building to make it look like it's kind of hunkered down in the side of this mountain or this canyon. So for now, I'll show you like a gray piece here is kind of what I will do. I'll come over here, we'll cut back in here and then go like that. So that way I can fill this out. There's a little bit of tan I'm going to fill on the side here, but this is all going to build as a brick, or not brick, but an actual canyon on the side of the outpost to show like it's actually in there. So we'll go ahead and get the gray laid out, and then I'm going to show basically what it will look like on the wall design, how we're going to be doing that, because I have some pieces that we got a while ago from Pick a Brick, so we'll do that too. But let's get these laid out here. It doesn't really matter too much about the size of this plate. I just want this to be all light gray. This will be all light gray inside. It's going to be tiled off anyway, so it's not going to be seen, but I don't want it tan in here. I want it to be light gray to show there is like a base in the structure there. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have the actual gray all down. This is where the actual base is going to be. I usually have a Lego hammer that taps it in. I don't know where it went, so I'm just pushing, trying not to break through this. So if I do break through it, then I'll have to rebuild it. So obviously that would suck. So for now though, this is pretty good. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm doing for the walls. So if I were building the wall here, I have these 1x3 pieces, and the wall will be on this outside here. So it'll be kind of like this, where we'll then put a brick layer here, and then we'll go from here. Let me grab some more and show you. So when we do this, I'll just run a technique like this. Basically kind of looking like bricks and a little bit of texture in between this. And it gives it a really good texture on the side. However, I think I'm going to also add some tan textured brick pieces just randomly. Where I would add this, just randomly put it into the wall. So that way it kind of gives it a little bit of texturing and color from the actual Ryloth. And I'll leave this here, actually. I'll go with this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this wall up here on this front, just so you guys can get an idea. Up here is going to be, like I said, more rock work to go up against the wall. But for now, we'll do this front wall. I'm going to spin the mock around, and then I'll show you guys what that front wall will look like, so you can get an idea of what we'll expect to see each wall. And then just for the actual flow of the mock and the outpost I'm building, once again, it's going to be an outpost on Ryloth, and what's happening here is what we usually never see in Clone Wars, or any Legos, or any Star Wars for that matter, and any Lego mocks I've seen. So basically, we're going to have Phase 1 clone troopers coming up this way into the mock. This will be the entrance, or into the outpost. This will be the entrance here. And then they're going to make their way around and come back out. And basically what's happening here is the clones are coming in, exchanging their Phase 1 armor for Phase 2 armor. And then they're going to be coming out, staging into a battalion down on the low ground. And then in that battalion, you'll be seeing them going up into the AT-OT that we have there as well. I have some special figures I'm going to be using to oversee this operation on Ryloth of exchanging that Phase 1 armor for Phase 2 armor. But I don't want to ruin it and say what minifigures are going to be featured in the mock. For now, you just know Phase 1 clone troopers, Phase 2 clone troopers, exchanging their armor in the outpost and going back out to stage. So really just a staging outpost to get them suited with the correct armor at the time and then go out to wherever they need to for their mission. So super excited to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do, like I said, this wall here. Once we get this wall done, we'll wrap up the mock video for this week. Unfortunately, it's still a bit shorter, but I need to order more parts for these walls, so that's what I'm going to be doing after this week, and then we can hopefully finish a good portion of the walls next week, as well as get an idea of what we're going to lay out in the base for that exchanging of armor scene there. So. Alrighty guys, so as you can see here, we finished the wall here. Not the entire wall, we're gonna probably make it about this high, I'm assuming. So I'm gonna order a bunch more of these pieces that we need. Because we have enough probably of these brick pieces to fill out this side of the wall. I'm gonna still need more for the sides of the actual mock, or of the outpost. So that we'll be ordering, but we do need more of these 1x3s, a lot of them. So I'm gonna be ordering a bunch of those. And then as far as these tan ones, we have plenty for all 4 walls. I have some right over here that I set aside for testing. And then I have a bunch over here as well. I'm not going to worry about that too much just because I really don't want to put too much. I think it looks good the way it is. But if we add too much of that, it starts to take away from the outpost, starts to make it look like they're using Tatooine's terrain to build that, and I don't want it to look like that. I want it to be distinct, that it's stone, it's just weathered, so I don't want to do too much of that. But yeah, the wall's pretty much complete here. This is a great design, I think, for the wall. It's sturdy and it's going to work for the mock, so we'll go ahead and wrap up the video with the outro, what we expect for next week, completing walls, and then kind of go over how we want to lay out the rest of the mock in a weekly timeline. Alrighty guys, so first and foremost, thanks for watching another week of building Ryloth. I'm so excited for this mock to be complete. As an updated timeline here, I would like this mock to be complete by middle of May at the latest. So right now we're sitting at the beginning of March, so we have March, April, and then probably the first week of May at most, because I have a lot going on in May, so I want to make sure that this mock is done before May, so that way I don't have to worry about uploading any videos after May or during May. So that's the first thing here. Second thing is, as you see, we have that wall design that I really like. I'm going to order a bunch of pieces so we can get that wall built up, and then the rest of the walls around it. And then in the inside, we're going to do some interior designing next week. So super excited about that because it's very specific that Phase 1 clone troopers are giving up their armor to get Phase 2 armor. So I want to show what a conveyor belt, or not even conveyor belt, but kind of like an assembly line of them doing that. Also, I really want to show the battalion being formed and going into an ATOT in that new Phase 2 armor. I think that'll be really cool to see as well. So we have some rock work we want to get done on the outside of the building, and then a little bit more greebling still on the actual terrain of Ryloth we'll be doing too. Not sure if we'll get to that in week 2. This week we completed the ATOT, which is awesome. That's done and good to go. We're going to have another vehicles week coming up later on to add maybe a couple ATRTs in the build, which will be fun too. Small size custom ones, not the way Lego makes our ATRTs. I want them to be much smaller so it looks correct to the ATOT. So we'll do that. But that'll be a few weeks down the road most likely. So really excited. It's coming along great. It's actually moving along faster than I thought. So that's why I'm going to set for being done in May at the latest, the second week of May. But hopefully the first week of May. It's just going to be a matter of how fast we can get these pieces in, and then how fast we can build up the outpost. Because if we can get the outpost done, pretty much we'll have that next geostructure to connect to the outpost, vehicles, and then just at that point detailing, greebling, lights. We're going to get some lights to go into the outpost specifically. So just a few things like that. But other than that, we'll be done once that's complete. I would like to add a window high up on the second floor of the outpost, which would look really cool, especially with lights in there, so you can kind of see in there. And then that's going to be happening probably towards the end of the actual timeline, because I usually do light fixtures in the ceiling of the build, and if I'm doing it in the ceiling of the build, that's going to be towards the end of the build, because that's the ceiling of the build. So that'll be later on we'll be doing that, which again, super excited for. So stay tuned for that. But for next week, we want to finish up most of these walls, if not all of them. Finish up that backside you saw of the tan that needs to be filled in still a little bit there. And then also get an idea of the interior first floor layout of where the clones will be swapping out armor. So super excited for it. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of building Ryloth. Stay tuned for the next week and for the completion of this entire mock. But with that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.